So you can solve your biggest problem in life pretty quickly. And typically it comes down to like one person's approval or disapproval. And I actually watched this Alex Hormozy video one time, and he's like, your whole life, like typically like the biggest problem is just someone's disapproval or approval that you're afraid to confront. Like they want you to live a certain way. It's someone in your life that expects something from you, or they want you to live a certain way, but you don't actually want to live that way, or but you're afraid to tell them, like you're afraid to confront it. But by having this fear, it can actually like you can procrastinate having this conversation with somebody for months. And like that's all it is sometimes. It's just a conversation and somebody's like little micro negative reaction. And then once you have it, your your life, like everything just like clears up. It's like, whoa, I was I was waiting this long to have that conversation, and the worst thing that happened was just a little micro kind of reaction. So like I'll give an example. If you're working a job you don't like, and the reason you typically don't like a certain job is not because of the job itself. It's typically because of the people or a person that's kind of controlling your environment in that job. Because like if you appreciated the person that was controlling your environment in your job, then and you thought you had a good environment, then you would like work. But it's typically like people are trying to people are trying to think like, oh, what how am I going to improve my life? Like what am I going to do? But it's typically, I know it's crazy, but it's like specific relationships and specific people that are the biggest problem in your life. And like I know that you don't want to blame others for your problems, whatever, but like people's influence on you or people's like approval or disapproval does actually matter sometimes, especially if it's like a boss or like a parent. And so like yeah, of course you're going to live in fear because this is potentially the person that like raised you, or is potentially the person that writes your paycheck. So of course you have to kind of follow follow their influence and follow what they say. And but the trade-off is that like if you just like blindly follow and then you don't really try to actually solve the problem, then you're just going to try to solve it like by doing other things. Like for example, you're working a job you don't like, and like I said, the reason you don't like the job is because there's specific people in your environment that are like making it not good. It's not the actual work itself. Like the work itself is, you know, no matter what you're doing, like if you're doing an office job or if you're doing a like I don't know, any type of job. Like the work itself is not bad, but it's who you look up to and who's creating that environment for you. That's what's that's what's uh kind of creating your happiness or unhappiness. So my point is that like you may be trying to like fix your life by, oh, I need to start working out, or I need to start doing this, or I need to start doing that. I think the highest leverage thing you can do is actually just meditate and think, who in my life is really dictating, like who am I really whose approval am I really seeking? Whose like voice am I afraid of? And you can usually pin it down to like one or two people. And once you do that, sometimes all you have to do is have a conversation, have a conversation with this person. And if you're willing to like try to resolve it, then you can have that conversation with them. But sometimes the cleanest thing to do is just cut things off completely. And once you do that, then like I said, your other it stems down to other things in your life. Like then you may have time to work out, may have time to do the other things you were needing to, but like you've been so stressed out about this person's approval. You know the answer is to cut things off, but you've been scared of that conversation. So have that conversation, and typically it's like might last for, I don't know, a day or so. Like I don't know if it's a relationship with the person or like a spouse or whatever, but that can maybe be a little tougher. But if it's a boss, typically it's just like conversation. So hopefully that helps. Talk to you later.